December 13, 2024. Memorial of Saint Lucy, Virgin and Martyr. A reading from the prophet Isaiah. Thus says the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord your God, who teaches you to profit, who leads you in the way you should go. Oh, that you had paid attention to my commandments! Then your peace would have been like a river, and your righteousness like the waves of the sea. Your offspring would have been like the sand, and your descendants like its grains. Their name would never be cut off or destroyed from before me. The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm response, he who follows you, Lord, will have the light of life. Blessed indeed is the man who follows not the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the path with sinners, nor abides in the company of scorners, but whose delight is the law of the Lord, and who ponders his law day and night. He who follows you, Lord, will have the light of life. He is like a tree that is planted beside the flowing waters, that yields its fruit in due season, and whose leaves shall never fade, and all that he does shall prosper. He who follows you, Lord, will have the light of life. Not so are the wicked, not so. For they, like winnowed chaff, shall be driven away by the wind. For the Lord knows the way of the just, but the way of the wicked will perish. He who follows you, Lord, will have the light of life. Alleluia, alleluia. The Lord will come, go out to meet him. He is the Prince of Peace. Alleluia. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Jesus said to the crowds, to what shall I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to their playmates, we played the flute for you, and you did not dance, we sang a dirge, and you did not mourn. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, he has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, look at him. A glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Yet wisdom is justified by her deeds. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflection. Friday, second week of Advent. In the Gospel reading, Jesus complains that his contemporaries see nothing good in either himself or in John the Baptist. They regard John as possessed because of his ascetic way of life, and they consider Jesus a glutton, a drunkard, and a friend of undesirables because of his more celebratory lifestyle. They remind Jesus of children he sees in the marketplace who refuse to join in either the funeral games or the party games of other children. As we might say, there was no pleasing them. Yet, God was drawing near to them in the two very different ministries of John the Baptist and Jesus. In spite of that, they found a way of dismissing both John and Jesus. They belittled both. We all run the risk of belittling the messengers that God sends us, or making light of the various ways that God might be trying to communicate with us. God communicate with us in different ways at different times, in the imagery of the Gospel reading, in both dirges and dances, in times of great sadness and great joy. The Gospel reading this morning suggests that what is needed from us is an openness to hear God, to be attentive to the Lord. That is, above all, what Advent calls for, that listening ear which is attentive to the Lord's coming and presence, no matter what form it takes.